Hello users, and welcome to another episodic installation of Above It All, the series in which I talk about the Nevada caucus. So we have Bernard, everyone's favorite human being, Bernard, in first place here. So keep in mind, however, that this is a caucus. Although I want to share this great news with you, this is a caucus, and Bernard has to maintain a lead after the final alignment, like with Iowa. And I'm not so sure how that's gonna work. I really don't know. I want to say that Elizabeth Warren and Tom Steyer voters will potentially go to Bernie. I do want to say that. It's totally possible that Amy Klobuchar and Elizabeth Warren supporters team up for the whole female power bullshit. That's totally possible. I don't know what Pete Buttigieg supporters are going to do. I really don't. This is going to be an interesting caucus to see. Honestly, in a lot of ways, Bernie needs to go above and beyond to 30 or 40% if he wants a guaranteed shot here. But we'll see. Really, the best case scenario here in this election is if Bernie holds very strong and maybe, I don't know, Joe Biden might be viable. It's totally possible he'll significantly underperform like he did in Iowa and New Hampshire. That's totally possible. If Joe Biden's viable and everyone just goes to Joe Biden, that's an issue. I think best case scenario is if Amy Klobuchar supporters compromise with Warren and give Warren the delegates, and then Tom Steyer people go to Bernard, and Pete Buttigieg people might go to Warren too. But really, this is going to be interesting. Again, 25% is really good. Don't get me wrong, but in a caucus, it's one of those things where you really need to be higher. So if anyone lives in Nevada, do your job, do your diligence. But this is good news. This is good news nonetheless. And there's also some other polls I want to talk about here. These are YouGov did a poll where they put Sanders against everyone else and Bloomberg against everyone else. And you can see both of these lists right here on this tweet. So as you can see, Bloomberg not so strong, and this is YouGov, which typically favors Warren, so keep that in mind. But Bloomberg is not strong at all. This poll actually makes me feel a lot better, because I do think that Bloomberg he's scary, I think. But I think this poll, and I'm not trying to say that one poll should always dictate your opinion, but seeing some data that points out how weak he is, I think is good. And then, of course, we have Bernie Sanders with a very strong supporting here on everything else. So, of course, going really good against Bloomberg, Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar absolutely dominates Amy Klobuchar. Elizabeth Warren, again, is usually well favored in this poll, so keep that in mind. But either way, Bernard is still beating her. And then, of course, Joe Biden he's beating. So it really goes to show that if this were a race between Bernie and, say, a Clinton, I feel like Bernie would win. But because it's so divided, things are so much more difficult to really grasp. But either way, this is some interesting stuff going into Super Tuesday. And I'm really, really curious as to how Nevada's going to go. I like this little thing where they have this is cool. I like that. I like this Joe Biden picture. He looks like he's got dementia and is lost. Well, I mean, one of those things may be true. You decide which one.